Hi there, enthusiast, and welcome today to my video. You might be wondering, why a cup of tea? Just a stupid thing in the morning. We all need like a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or just water, you know? Hydration is the most important thing to any living organism in the world. And it's not any different for ants. Today, we're going to talk about taking care of the humidity and hydration of your ants. Because drowning them and making sure to dry up, those are both things you don't want. Let's start with the most important thing, humidity. You see, every ant is different. If we grab, for example, my colony right now, which are Mesobarbarus, they come from Spain. And Mesobarbarus ants like it to have a bit dry. That doesn't mean no water. They still need water, and they don't get it out of nowhere. Because of the dry climate, it rains occasionally, and this rain gets into the soil and eventually reaches them. They keep their nests in such a way they stay dry, but they still be able to get the water droplets from the moist ground to which they drink. Imagine drinking from a wall, basically. And today we're gonna do basically that. But before we go into that, we're gonna talk more into why it's important to make sure you check humidity. If I make my ant nest too humid, too much water, or too much water in a quick time, they don't like that. They'll get pissed off or they will move somewhere else. They prefer to have it dry, as I said before. But the biggest problem you can cause is condensation. When it's warm in your room or where you keep it, or it's warm outside and there's a lot of condensation inside the nest, these water droplets get so big they can potentially drown the ants. And if they don't drown the ants, they will drown the larvae. They have no choice but to move out, and it's, in realistic terms, a high chance of dead ants. And nobody wants that, do we? We don't want to lose ants. We want to get more ants. And I know for a fact that it's very hard for the first time to find out, because when I first started, I lost a lot of ants to mostly drowning them because I had some condensation. I used a heating lamp because I heard that would help the growth of my Mesobarbarus ants, but instead they did not like it one bit. And my room is warm enough for them. It's 25 degrees in here, which is room temperature is the best temperature to keep your ants in. And I use a Neoboerderij or Ants Kingdom formicarium. Because of this, it's made of gypsum. I think that's the word we in Dutch would call gyps. This material soaks up a lot of water already, but it also expels it because it sieves through. Which I would say is the best buy. Because if you get something from wood, the wood might rot, so don't do that, and some ants can actually go through the wood. And if you use soil, don't use too much water, because soil holds up a lot of water. If you know a lot about plants, you know what I'm talking about. I still say, get the one I got. Link will be in the description, and check it out. It is quite expensive, but you get something worth your money. If you're gonna start with a small colony for that, of course get the small one, but we'll talk more about that in another video. Well, I guess it's time we talk about the ants and how to water them exactly. Are you ready? If not, then I hope you are in a minute. No, I'm just joking. We don't have time for waiting because those ants are very impatient. Alright, as you can see, here we have the little buggers just minding their own business, all sitting close. This room right here is what gets most contact with the water. This right here is the water reserve. To get water into the water reserve, I use this syringe. Always get like a syringe or some pipette
to make sure that the water gets in there. Because if you're just gonna throw an entire glass of water, I don't think you had much of a result. Also, I had some questions about why I use this red foil. The red foil is so they don't see much sunlight. Ants can't see red light. So using this red thing, if I use just regularly the light from that is now going into my window, they can't see a thing. They won't know I'm there. Which is pleasant because I can see how they're doing instead of sealing it off and every single time I want to check, just pissing them off. Of course, I already grabbed my water and I put it just in this neat little cup. Why did I put it in the cup? Well, I used to just get it straight from the tap and that did not go very smoothly. You have a very high chance of getting air bubbles. Something else you have to watch out for when getting your water is making sure your water is clean. If you're getting tap water, make sure that you use tap water that is completely clean, that has no chemicals inside of it that are used for keeping the water sanitized or drinkable. If you don't have drinkable water, then definitely don't give it to your ants. Don't give rainwater or some outsourced water because that will just make everything filthy and you have the potential of making your ants sick. Because the water just goes through and I'm unsure if this thing, my formicarium, what I mean, works as a filter. I just use tap water and I live in a country where the water is very clean. We can drink it and they can drink it too. The syringe is very simple to use, but I might have to find a way to use both hands, so give me a moment. Alright, here's the glass of water. Well, we have to be careful because my table is a bit unsteady sometimes. As you can see, it shows in milliliters. If you use anything else, then I would not be able to help you because I'm not very familiar with American terms. We're gonna start with just going up like this. Careful, because you don't want to have an air bubble, and I already got one. But that's fine. If you have an air bubble, make sure the air bubble is slightly above the 5. There we go. Now, I'm gonna grab my thing and show you how it's done. I'm gonna now stick it in here, and the ants are very active because I just move some things around and that usually upsets them. I gently squish the water in here, and by doing so, as you can see, the water goes through the seal. The water quickly soaks into the formicarium and surrounding it, as it tries to empty itself out, basically. But you gotta do this at least 3 times. So most of these rooms, the sides are covered. At least this room for now. That's why I do it 3 times, because that's for me at least enough. If you do it more times, well, you might get too much water around and they won't use any rooms. Just a quick note, it will most likely upset your ants. Nobody likes to have any water in their house at a random point they can't control, and that's how they feel about it right now. So, I'm gonna do this 2 more times, and then I'll be back on my chair. Alright, see you guys in a moment.
Alright, we're back. And my ants are very upset, of course, and yeah, it's part of it. I actually went, instead of 3, I went for 4 times because I saw that they have a lot of more larvae next to the walls. So by having more water, the larvae will have more water, but be careful because if you use very fast with the syringe, a lot of water gets there fast and that's dangerous. Do it slowly so the water spreads carefully around the edges, and overall only do it when you're like, there are a lot of ants and you know for a fact that they will be able to, if it's dangerous, they'll quickly carry everything away. If not, don't do it. And that's all I have to say for my video. I hope if you have more questions, please go to our website on how to do it in the end. Check out our Facebook, talk with other ant keepers, hit us in the comment section, and of course, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and have a lovely day. Alright, see you later, enthusiasts.